Good afternoon, I'm Karen Holmes Ward. Welcome to CityLine. Today we're exploring the road to economic empowerment and building black wealth. Celtics player Jaylen Brown made headlines this summer, not only by signing a record-breaking deal worth $304 million, but his idea to create a new financial mecca in the hub.
I want to launch a project to bring Black Wall Street here to Boston. I want to attack the wealth disparity here. With the biggest financial deal in NBA history, it makes sense to talk about, one, your investment in community, but two, also, the wealth disparity here that nobody wants to talk about. It's top 5 in the U.S. It's something that we can all improve on. It's unsettling.
In 2015, the Boston Federal Bank released its Color of Wealth study that found median net worth for white households in Greater Boston was nearly $250,000. But for black families, it was just $8. And it was that alarming statistic that led to the formation of the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. And joining us today is Nicole Obi, CEO of BECMA. Hi, how are you today?
I'm well, thanks for having me.
Nicole, when that Color of Wealth study came out, it's just stunning. Is that $8 figure still accurate? And what has changed since 2015? Is there going to be a new updated study?
I'll answer the last question first. And so the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston is working on a new form of that Color of Wealth study. BECMA is on that committee, and so that study will be out in the next few years. And it'll be really interesting to see where we are when it comes to measuring wealth. I'll tell you that I have concerns that we haven't moved the needle very much towards building black wealth in Massachusetts. There was recently a Boston Public Health Commission study that found that in 2023, there is a 23-year difference in life expectancy between the Back Bay and Roxbury. So that's not a good indicator, but there has been some progress.
Let's just back up and give a little bit of history. The concept of Black Wall Street dates back to the 1900s and the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's when a thriving black economic district emerged until a mob of armed white rioters burned the community down, also murdering hundreds of residents in what has become known as the Tulsa Race Massacre. What are your thoughts on Jaylen Brown's idea to launch a modern Black Wall Street in Boston?
I'm thrilled that Jaylen has amplified this concept of building Black Wall Street here in Massachusetts. There have been Black Wall Streets before, whether outside of Tulsa, so in Harlem, right here in Boston, and what is now Nubian Square was Dudley Square, was also a thriving business district for many black businesses. And so we love that he's bringing that message forth. And BECMA's committed to building black wealth and doing it beginning in Nubian Square.
And in fact, BECMA recently moved its offices from Beacon Hill to Nubian Square.
That's right.
Part of that reason why was to get that energy going there? Absolutely.
Our mission at BECMA is to build black wealth. We are so excited about the fact that Nubian Square is the center of Boston. It is the heart of black Massachusetts. And there's so much that's already underway there. We have many black developers there. It's the center for the T-Bus hub. There's just a lot of energy, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of organizations that are doing good work. And we would love to see Black Wall Street at Nubian Square.
What's it going to take to get more people to gravitate to that space?
It's going to take a bit. There's a lot of housing under development right now. We do have some black entrepreneurs who have restaurants and businesses and markets, but we need more. We need cultural draw. We also have to address some of the safety issues and concerns in the area. And we have to make it so that it's not just a place where people live, but where people are gathering and thriving together. So,
now, how are you going to elevate the concept to make it attractive to everyone? What plans are afoot to make that happen?
Well, we lead at BECMA with really focusing on our businesses and helping our businesses to get stronger. We are looking for commitments and investment from a private-public perspective as well. So we've been floating the ideas of making Nubian Square Black Wall Street, and that's just the beginning. There's no reason to stop there. There are many opportunities to grow Black wealth across the Commonwealth, and in doing so, we will help to grow the Massachusetts economy. The Massachusetts Taxpayer Foundation estimates that by closing the racial wealth gap in Massachusetts, we can grow the economy of Massachusetts by $25 billion in just 5 years. And that's what we're about. And if we have a place to begin, we believe that it should be in Nubian Square.
So BECMA has an upcoming conference, and the conference is named Building Black Wealth, not necessarily closing the racial wealth gap. Tell us about the intentionality of that naming.
Sure. We did work with our board earlier this year to change our mission to have a more focus on the concept of building as opposed to removing barriers or having sort of a deficit mindset. We really do believe that there's nothing wrong with Black people that ending racism won't solve. And so we wanted to talk about how do we create wealth in our community. And there's a myriad of ways of doing that. Health is wealth. Having a clean environment, clean food is wealth. Having political power is wealth. And so we really want to focus on those building blocks, many of which we have made great progress on. And that's the focus. And that's why the theme is for our Expo and really for BECMA is building Black wealth.
Now, since 2020 and the attention brought on through a new moment of racial reckoning, there was a spike of attention on buying Black and supporting Black business. Do you think that's flattened, or are people backing away from that?
We have seen a decline in interest by many. We know that many of the Black Lives Matter signs are gone. Many of the commitments made during the height of the racial awakening have gone unfulfilled. But we also have seen progress being made around working with allies who are committed to putting more Black people on boards and commission and decision-making roles in management. We've made progress around procurement because I always say no Black entrepreneur starts a business to get a grant.
Yes.
They really want customers, they want contracts, and so we're making some progress there. We're also making some progress around the work that we're doing to help our businesses innovate and get into the Massachusetts growth economies. That's one thing that we have that other competing cities across the nation don't have, but we have to make sure that we don't miss out on some of these booms. We missed out for the most part on the .com boom.
So
we missed out on life sciences for the most part when it comes from a business perspective. We have these booms like climate in particular where we want to make sure that we're getting our businesses, we're making some progress there.
Okay, Nicole Obi, thank you for being here today. Everybody, the Mass Black Expo is October 6th through the 8th at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. WCVB is a proud media partner. Our own Brittany Johnson is going to moderate some of the events. A link to the registration is on our website at wcvb.com/cityline, but you can also register at massblackexpo.com.